Get in the game with the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Bet on the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, soccer, golf, MMA, and more. Every sport, every market, right at your fingertips. Deposit instantly with PayPal, Venmo, or Apple Pay, starting at just $10. Win big and cash out fast. PayPal in 24 hours or instantly at retail sportsbooks. Available in over 20 states, FanDuel's app is your ticket to the action. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app now.
You still haven't talked with your dad to see if he saw that Chicago thing?
No, thanks for reminding me.
Huh?
I'll ask him right now. I know he was looking up the schedule.
Chosen evil woman. Nothing on that song?
Good stuff.
Huh?
That's good stuff.
Do you remember who sang it?
ELO?
Yep. What a great underrated band, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Remember, I bought my dad a Jeff Lynne's CD probably 10 years ago.
Okay, so did you guys watch Dynamite?
Yeah.
Bro, these numbers for this show are all over the place each week. I mean, they had 690,000 last week, right? Last week was
Do you have it, Joe?
Last week was 690.
690,
yeah,
correct.
Take a look at this week. And this is a go home for pay-per-view. Bro, what's the number, Joe? 560 or something? What was the number?
Yes.
560. Like 130,000 fan drop. And it's weird because the show was in a bigger building than usual, and it was packed. And it's like, and it was a steady audience. The whole show, it's like nothing really went down or up. It's fairly steady if you look at the numbers. But only 560,000 people.
565.
That's crazy for a go home show. And like I'm sure the max numbers, but that's like
Look at what was the lowest rated segment.
The gates of the backstage, Adam Page, MJF Ricochet angle backstage. Well, yeah, they're going to burn the guy alive for.
I think people are rolling their eyes and going, "This is ridiculous. Nobody's going to get burnt."
Right. And they did I'm surprised. I'm kind of surprised. Well, not me, because this fan base likes the wrestling, right? But look at they had I'll just talk about it because they had a time limit draw. 30. They had a 30-minute. They had a 30-minute match on the show to go home.
You're doing a tag team
right.
tournament, right? And you're having a 30-minute draw. You couldn't have done 5 more minutes or had a winner.
Well, here's the funny thing.
But you know what I almost think's going to happen?
What?
This is the only thing I could think of, and maybe you have a better theory, or Joe. I thought they're going to do a 3-way, FTR, Broditos, or whatever they're called, Broditos,
right.
And Hurt Business, so Hurt Business doesn't have to. I think they may take the titles from them.
Well, so they don't have to do the job for FTR,
right.
And FTR, because people are complaining that the Hurt Business doesn't want to do jobs.
Right.
They don't want to put FTR over. They don't want to put these. So it's like I don't know. But who knows? MVP started a podcast too. Did you know that?
And I think it's too soon to be taking the titles off of them. That's number one.
Yeah, for sure.
And another thing I want to say, and tell me if you feel the same thing. It's almost like they lost a lot of steam.
Well, they haven't been. It's like they haven't been put in any peril. They haven't been they haven't put it. They're putting teams against them that are not going to beat them. And they had these long angles with them, it's just been very flat, so.
And what was the reason, really? Give me your...
Well, let's review the show. We'll get to
Okay, let me ask you this. Give me what you or Joe think was the benefit of having MJF join the Hurt Business.
I think this is Tony's weird long-term storytelling thing that, that eventually when it gets to the Hurt Business and MJF, everybody go like, "Oh, that's great long-term storytelling." It's like, no, dude, because everything in between was just flat and didn't draw. No benefit whatsoever. It was silly. I don't, you saw the direction they should have gone immediately was Lashley and MJF and told that story and built up to a match in 4 to 6 weeks.
Right, because that had organic heat.
Right.
And I was thinking at the beginning, and I even said it, I said, why is he joining Hurt Business? He doesn't need them, and they don't need him. And then I thought, okay, let's give him a chance. Let's see where this is going before you open your mouth. I was right.
We were saying, the show flat. Oh, this is interesting. I'm interested. I'm invested in the MJF angle with Bobby Lashley to the point like I'm not really invested in this anymore. The rest of they're doing an angle with the top flight guys.
Right. You
That's
gave
like
him
the
a
focus,
car
right?
and now they're your friends, and the other guy you gave him a watch and now he's your friend. And it was so simplistic and so kind of insulting.
Right.
But I just said, you know what? I like MJF. I like Hurt Business. Let me give this a chance because I think between them four, they're smart enough to come out with something better than this, but they ain't writing the show.
So Osprey comes out wearing his gear, which is his soccer
shirt.
You know, I don't know, he looks like a kid. So he says one of the worst months of his life. He said, he tries to tell these stories to do an entertaining promo, and the stories just are not really interesting. He told a story of arriving in Glasgow for a Scottish promotion and going out drinking with the boys. And he recalled being hungry and put over Greg's sausage rolls. That got a head chant from the crowd. He said he's scared because he's heading down a road other wrestlers have gone before, thanks to Moxley, the Death Riders. He continued and said he wasn't cleared last week for Forbidden Door, so he had to take things into his own hands. He said he was told he couldn't wrestle 30 minutes from his house. He couldn't accept it, so he took matters in his own hands. He said anything that happens in his lights out match on Sunday is not AEW's responsibility. Osprey then said he would join four of his friends in the ring to get his revenge, and before they take a scalpel to his neck, he would get his pound of flesh from Moxley and the Death Riders. Moxley came out. Brian Danielson came out to start the show, went to the commentary. They went face to face as Marina Shafir stood by, and then Wheeler Yuta on Claudio climbed to the apron. Osprey told Moxley he was coming for him. If he wanted him, he shouldn't let his boys do it. He should do it himself. But then Claudio and Wheeler got in the ring instead of Moxley, and then Jet Speed ran out, and they were followed by Hiroshi Tanahashi. This is a perfect description. This is Jason Powell. He looked like a very excited penguin power walking to the ring. That is a perfect description because the guy can't really move and he's like older. He's like, yeah. So then it broke down into a match with Hiroshi Tanahashi, Kevin Knight, and Speedball Bailey against Moxley, Yuta, and Castagnoli. And Tanahashi's Gabe Kidd and the Bullet Club War Dogs interfered. And then Will Ospreay then appeared carrying a body bag, which supposedly had Marina Shafir in it. This was all over the place. It just got confusing. Then in the ring, Tanahashi hit a frog splash. They win. After the match, the War Dogs and the Death Riders start a beatdown in the ring, and then the Young Bucks appear from behind Ospreay and delivered a double super kick. This is the opening match. Okay, this is not the end of the show. Okay, because this sounds like the end of a show, right? So Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly appeared and chased him away. Claudio and Moxley opened the bag. Then Darby Allin emerged and brawled with them. Then the Ops joined the fight. And a wild brawl started, and they brawled into an arena loading area where Darby Allin flew off the entryway for a coffin drop and took everybody out. You knew they had this very weak-looking brawl with guys that do not look like they know how to brawl. And it was just all set up and everything for Darby to dive on everybody at the end. It was like, this did not, bro, they don't do these brawls very well. They don't look like they're brawling. It's just like, people are going through the motions on this. It's just like, what'd you think of this?
Joe, did you see this or no?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay. So I got a couple of things to say about this.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, he obviously still has a connection with the fans. I don't know if it's the smartest thing in the world to be gloating that, well, I got to have neck surgery, but first I'm going to do Forbidden Door. What if you get hurt in that match?
It sounds like a dumb baby face.
Right, but it gets over with the people because, he's a fighting champion.
I don't know.
Right?
I would argue
Well, they
that.
popped. They popped for him. They weren't booing him. Okay? Now, I think they like those guys, whether it's Brian Danielson or him or other guys that have put their body on the line for wrestling and now they can't wrestle anymore. I'm not sure why you would want that. Bro, I've said this a million times, worth saying one more time. Is there a more unassuming, underwhelming heel group than John Moxley's group? And I'll tell you why. Tell me who in that group, Disco, is booked strong, who has an individual program with anybody, who gets any promo time, who gets any character development. Why should we fear a 130-pound girl? Does Utah ever win? That cousin it haircut is brutal. And thank God for beards, or he looked like he was still 15. And I'm not hating. I'm just stating on all of that.
Well,
I wish
Marina
that
Shafir still hadn't said a word. How long has she been on TV?
Well, remember when she did? Remember how bad that promo
why
was?
doesn't she wrestle?
She should be wrestling, yeah. I wish, it's funny because a lot of the stuff that went on in the beginning when AEW formed was, well, I can't wait to see Moxley out from under the handcuffs of WWE, and I can't wait to see this guy. I was hoping Cesaro, Claudio, when he jumped, would have a whole lot more to do. And he's been in some, stable versus stable main event matches, but it's not anywhere near the way I would like to see Claudio pushed. And you just made the statement there, Konnan, by saying who in the group's intimidating. Cesaro used to be very intimidating, and now he's just like background.
Bro, they've got like
when he first came in, they gave him that super push like they do to so many people. Then he's no longer the flavor of the month, and he likes somebody else. Who did anyone other than the heels not assume that Darby Allin was in the body bag? Okay, and I will say this: I don't know if the sausage rolls I had in England and Australia were Greg's, but those sausage rolls that they give in the soccer games are absolutely delicious. There's a place here in San Diego that Stacy found that it just makes like those meat pies and those sausage rolls like you would buy at a soccer game. Absolutely delicious. Do you have anything like that in Vegas?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
So this was just like everybody, they threw up. Well, it's kind of funny. Like you're building to a pay-per-view and like you just had a bunch of guys out there fighting each other with like
that was
just,
overproduced,
right.
bro.
So,
I think in their mind they're like our hottest. This is what I'm thinking. See if you follow me on this. Our hottest segment is always the first segment. It's the most viewed. Maybe if we have a lot of chaos, people will stay.
Right.
I think that's maybe what they're going for, but you hit the nail on the head, and we've said it a million times, bro. The brawls look like they're not shot well, bro. There was a
you couldn't see what was going on. They were just like
there was a spot in the match. Now I just want you to know this. I used to be a big fan of New Japan, like real big. Mm-hmm. And I stopped watching like when Tanahashi was still young and could go. Bro, it was very uncomfortable watching him in this match because he couldn't really move, And the brawls, there was a part in the match where Tanahashi and what's this guy's name? Moxley.
The forearms at the beginning.
Forearms.
The beginning.
How brutal was that?
Horrible.
Yeah.
I start fast. Bro, I always do this.
Why don't you just hit him with a pillow?
Whenever I see, I watch the AEW matches until I see some just really bad looking work or like the spot, and I just immediately just fast forward. Like if they're over thigh slapping. Or
you can't. I'm not saying you have to stiff the guy like you did in Japan because obviously the guy's beat up from that Japanese style. But bro, it looks absolutely weak.
They were shooting, and plus they were shooting it to make it look weak. It's like you got the thing right now. It's like, dude, but like usually like a WWE, the truck would get away from that. Right,
Do you not know there's a camera on you, and it may have a close up of you when you're doing this?
Bro, you're talking about Tanahashi. He's the president of New Japan. That's very disrespectful.
Yeah,
remember that? Who was it? Remember this, Joe? Who was the kid that was the friend of the guy that was like the security, the bodyguard guy that was friends with Don Callis? And they were all coming after me when they had that spot in the match with Suzuki and they were doing the slap stuff. And I called it sissy slapping online. And all these people were calling it, that's disrespect. Like they wanted to beat me up. Because I was seeing this.
Paul Lazenby or Lazenby.
Paul Lazenby. He was actually saying making threatening comments to me. Just because I said this looks terrible. Like the sissy slapping spots. I don't know, bro. New Japan.
You mentioned the brawling, which made me think of, next week is when this ECW arena residency starts.
Yeah.
So Dynamite will be in the arena next week, and then Collision and Ring of Honor and Dynamite, they're here for like 2 weeks. So they better bring it at the arena.
Are you going to any of those?
Well, I was denied press access. So
you can't go as a fan?
No, I could go. We'll see what happens. I know some people are asking me to go.
I've always been a proponent of work, right? Like when you're trained, like to me, the best professional wrestlers were the ones that did it to make it look as real as possible without hurting anybody ever, and like it looked real enough and you're light. You're not because you can where you're selling. You're making it look like contact when it's not, right? Japan had a different premise, and it's like you clobber each other. The Japanese fighting spirit spots snug, stiff at times. A lot of suplexes on the neck. A lot of kicks to the head. And just like the wrestlers here that learned how to work started embracing that style, right? But it's not like they grew up training in the dojos to train that way. So now you got like a lot of American workers are taught to work that are like wrestling Japanese style, and they think they're like being snug, and so oftentimes it just looks.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, they're taking a half Nelson suplex on the apron.
Everything's on the neck, the heart on the neck. And just like I don't. People say Japanese. Well, dude, it's not as good as just basic work, and that's all you need if you have good characters and good storylines. Work a match, don't get hurt, advance to the next level of the story. But now we've stopped. It's like, the matches are so good. It's like now we stop, and like we look at the technical aspect of the match and every movement. Like it's like, dude, that's not what the premise of wrestling's for. Because the fighting is still fake. The matches and event we build up. You get people to watch and see what happens in this match to advance the storylines. But now we get this thing like, our matches are better. We're the best wrestlers, stuff. These guys are killing each other out there and incorporating fake looking work while you're doing it. It's like so weird, It's like, at least like Lucha holds true to their style. You know what I'm saying? But like all the American wrestlers have tried to fuse all these styles and just like, we've realized like not a lot of them are very good workers to begin with.
Pull your mic up, Disco.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it just got faint for a second.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I don't know. I like this Japanese style. Very overrated to me. So, do you agree with that, Konnan? Konnan, I know you like I like old school Japanese wrestling, but these were big men clobbering each other in front of like Vader and Stan Hansen clobbering each other. You got 600 pounds of men there. But like when the smaller guys are doing it, it's just like, I don't know. I just think that's, I don't know. Oh, plus too, you were talking about, how unimposing the Death Riders are. Brother, they've incorporated a lot of these guys. Like a lot of wrestlers on that show look like kids out there. Like there's almost too many of them. Wheeler Yuta looks like a kid. Speedball Bailey looks like a kid. The Hook looked like a kid. Darby's the outlier because Darby looks like a kid, but he brings this intensity and this violence to his work, And
Nick Wayne is a kid.
Nick Wayne's a kid. Kip Sabian's a kid. Daniel Garcia's a kid. And bro, they're incorporating.
What happened to Daniel Garcia?
I'm just saying that they're incorporating these characters who should all be like underneath guys, like in like cruiserweight angle, like whatever. They're incorporating them with the heavyweight characters or like the bigger guys or the over guys, and it just. Bro, it's been going on long enough. They look like they just do not fit in these storylines. I mean, do you get that out of this?
It's incredible to me how much time they spend on Daniel Garcia.
Right.
And we don't know anything about him, and I wouldn't have even remembered him if you wouldn't have brought him up right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
what do we really know about Wheeler Yuta?
Right.
It's like, bro, Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia actually main evented a Dynamite a while back in a ring of honor. What's it, the open weight title or whatever the title, one of these secondary Ring of Honor
open
titles.
weight or what, North American maybe, or Intercontinental,
whatever it was. It was like one of those where you're not allowed to punch and to do the slap. Remember they do the slap?
Was it the pure wrestling?
Pure wrestling. And I'm like, dude, it's like, I don't know, man.
So Daniel Garcia has been on Collision. He was in a contenders match for the New Japan title. That was just the other night.
I'm trying to figure out why these numbers are so bad this week. Why they dropped so much? Because over the weekend, Collision did a terrible number 2, but it was up against a UFC Combat fight.
Summertime.
I don't know. It's just very strange. Well, this is supposed to be. There's nothing else on TV right now.
Yeah.
You shouldn't really be like, remember we talked about coming. Then they actually did have a thing. Remember they came out of the playoffs. They ticked up a little bit, but it's like, how do you drop off like 30% of your audience in 1 week? It's very strange. I don't know. Okay, let me give you the take on this too. Is this Powell? Oh, it's Barnett. Okay, this guy's
Pull
Barnett.
your mic closer to your mouth, Di. It's still doing it.
Okay, this is Barnett. Barnett's take.
Ooh.
This guy Jake Barnett, he does this thing on this. I can't find this. The Will Osprey injury story is wildly inconsistent from week to week. Hopefully the surgery goes well, but it sounds like AEW could be without him for an extended period of time. And if this is a shoot, how on earth can you have this guy out there wrestling a match? Like, what are you doing? So I don't know.
It would be very irresponsible, and they'd have to live with it as a company and personally if something happened to him, because they instead of saving him from himself and saying, no, you can't wrestle until you get the operation, they let him.
Right.
So I'm going to assume this is some sort of a work, or it isn't as bad as he's leading us on to think.
It says it's a legitimate injury. It's 2 herniated discs, C2 and C6, that are pressing on his spinal cord. He's been injured.
So why would you be wrestling in a cage match, anything goes type of match where you're going to have to probably take some wild bumps?
He's been dealing with it for 10 months. The injury has led to him losing feeling in his hand at one point.
Yeah.
But it looks like it could be treated non-surgically.
Well, when your head of talent relations or whoever it is Daniel Bryan, and that was his that was his badge of honor, going out there when you shouldn't. So I don't, bro. So it's a very weird.
Joe just said something very interesting. He said it could be treated non-surgically. So how serious could it be?
Well, that's what when I had herniated disc, I didn't get surgery either. But let me tell you something. The treating it, the first time I herniated my disc, it was like 8 months of stuff I had to do. Like, it was a while,
Yeah.
But after that, I went when I started going to the kinesiologist. When I heard it the second time, it was like 5 weeks I was back. He should come. If Osprey should come to the United States and go to Atlanta and go see my guy Dr. John Forty. The guy works with tons of athletes. He's a kinesiologist. He's outside the box, but the guy fixes people with problems like this. I would suggest, if anybody's listening to this, tell Will Osprey, Dr. John Forty, go see the guy.
You should DM him. Yeah,
he's Ravens guy. Think about that, Joe. Adam Copeland comes out, and Christian came out. Tony said Schiavone said it's been a long time since fans have seen them together. Christian told the crowd to sit down and shut up. So that was actually funny. I liked the way this segment went, because Christian is not compromising his character. He told the crowd to sit down and shut up, so Copeland stole the mic from him and asked if he was still going to be that guy because the crowd loves him. Copeland said that he is what he is. Then said one thing he's learned, that sometimes you need Christian is his. Christian said Copeland told him to go find himself at All In, and what he found is that he doesn't need to change a thing because he's perfect just the way he is. Christian said they are not on the same page, not by a long shot, but they're at least writing in the same book. He said they'd agreed to help Copeland with his FTR problem in exchange for help with his Kip and Nick problem. Christian told Copeland he would make no promise beyond that, but this version of Christian would be the best partner he's ever had. So then Kip Sabian and Mama Wayne walked out. And then Nick Wayne appeared on the screen and revealed that Christian broke his foot a week ago and had taken the Forbidden Door show away from him. He called out Copeland and Christian for pathetically holding on to the end of their careers and said he would have embarrassed them if he'd been able to make it. Then Wayne reminded them that he was always one step ahead. Christian's mom spoke during this too, but then Killswitch makes his return and came to the ring, and he walked to the ring and chokeslammed both Copeland and Christian after people were realizing if he was going to team up with them or not. But he laid the two of them out.
Speaking of a guy he was on and off TV, his gimmick switched and this and that, was Kip Sabian's been around since the beginning of the company. And what has really happened with him?
Remember, he was dating that hot chick. What's her name?
Penelope?
Yeah.
And then he came back with silver hair or something. Then he was wearing a bag over his head.
Right. I like this promo because their verbiage was short and sweet, but very good character development. Because Christian basically just said a couple heel things to let everybody know that like, hey, look, I'm not changing, which is good. That's good. I like this. What'd you think of this, Konnan?
I thought this was great because he did what Noemi did.
Right.
He didn't. He didn't. Right. And I thought it was absolutely hilarious when Edge said he's And then he was like, I really didn't mean it to come out that way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but this was very well done.
Yeah, well, those two guys are very intelligent, so they're gonna make sure this.
And they need each other because Edge needs him to help him against FTR, right. And he needs Edge to help him with the Wayne and the other Jack.
And it's like, yeah, all right, I know you're now. It's like, yeah, I know I am. All right, but we got a problem that we need to solve. We have to do it together because we got multiple enemies here we got to fight against. You know, so yeah, I like this
too. I don't think they've teamed in over 20 years already at this point.
Yeah,
25. It could be closer to 25.
So MJF approached Ricochet backstage and asked for some. Oh, Mark Briscoe showed up and said he was looking for MJF and he promised to kill him. Okay. He's gonna kill him.
Yeah, that's happened a lot.
Well, he should have had some type of weapon on him or something, is what I would have thought. Like, you know, like a knife or something. He's like a redneck guy. Like, what would the guy do if he showed up and he had like a belt and he had like a pocket knife on his belt and he was open carrying? So he was looking for MJF. You know, he should actually know what his gimmick should be. He should have like you know how Jared has a guitar. He should have a banjo and hit people with the banjo. What do you think about that? And then
play the deliverance song.
Hey, did you see this? This is a little bit off topic here. Did you see the Hulk Hogan articles that have been coming out?
No.
Let me get this for you.
Vince had Bubba the Love Sponge on his show.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, what are some of the articles on Hogan?
So a potentially massive error during one of his surgeries may have contributed to Hulk Hogan's death. His wife told TMZ Sports that WWE legends phrenic nerve was compromised during a recent surgery. An occupational therapist who was present at Hogan's home when the WWE legend stopped breathing told cops on the scene that his surgeon severed this nerve during a surgery. And apparently this nerve controls your diaphragm and is essential to your ability to breathe.
Oh, wow.
So this could be
that negligence or malpractice or both.
Well, I don't know if you were paying attention when I spoke about this, but I had heard there was a doctor on talking about the possible complications. What happened was Hogan had the neck problem, right? Yep. But one of the things broke. Okay, so they had to go back in and redo it. And they said when you do that in a short period of time, there's like tons of things can happen because you're going in and fixing during one of the period of time when it should have been in recovery.
Yes.
Then it broke it. So it's like, and the guy actually said it could hit the nerves, which you could cut off like the oxygen, like the guy's the whole thing. So that might.
Yeah, because every time you saw Hulk, he did not look sick or sickly or, you know, he always looked in good spirits and, you know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like he looked like Biden or something.
Probably had a bunch of gimmicks he was taking for the pain too.
Right. Hell of a deal. What you got? What you got?
MJF approached.
What do you need? Whatever you got.
MJF approached Ricochet and his crew about his Briscoe problem. They agreed to a deal, but they shooed the cameras away before it could be disclosed. Then FTR comes out for the finals of the tournament to get the title shot, and they went 30 minutes. Went through tables, just did like a 30-minute draw. Okay. After the match officially ended, Bandito hit a move on Harwood, but the referee had to call off the cover. And after the match was announced that both teams would advance to challenge the Hurt Syndicate at Forbidden Door. And the Hurt Syndicate then walked out to stare down their opponents. That was their big show. So what did you think? How interested are you now? Okay, that the Hurt Syndicate is going to wrestle the winner of this. They wrestled to a 30-minute draw. They took 30 minutes of TV time, and they stood there and announced when the Hurt Business came out and just stood there that it's going to be a three-way. Does this make you interested in that match?
No. And I'm not a fan of the name Brodito either.
Right. That's ridiculous. And Brody King was bleeding.
He bled a lot.
Yeah. Hangman Page made his way to the ring. He reminded the crowd that he was jumped at the park.
By the way, during commentating, Bryan Danielson called Bandito as Wrestler of the Year. If I had to pick a Wrestler of the Year, I'd pick a Cowboy.
Oh, by the way, Konnan, I put a poll up on Twitter for some engagement. Okay.
Right.
Do you want to hear the results of this poll?
Yes. And did you ever put in that fact we talked about?
No, because
yesterday?
I already talked to Joe before you came on. I don't know if that's the data, bro, because I went and did another dive. I can't figure out the numbers exactly, so I'm going to call Jeremy and see if he can get me.
Well, it does.
Like,
It did give you a big parking space though. It was like WWE could be from 3 million to 24 or
well, that's what
whatever
I'm saying.
it was.
I'd like
now
to
you
get
don't
the
want
number. I
something
don't
that-
want like vague.
from 1 to 1
Yeah,
million, and
right.
you're like, that could be any number. Let
But
me just
either
get
way-
something to drink real quick.
All right.
Yeah, the way it showed it, DI, was like, let's say WWE does 12 to 20 times more social media engagement. Shouldn't that translate to television? You're trying to tell me their TV shows are doing similar numbers, but social media numbers are so out of whack that doesn't fit. You know?
Konnan's going to be entertained by this poll. This is actually, I'm going to read this too. This is actually very funny. You know, Dave's been like really hyping up CMLL lately, right? Because remember he posted recently that it's going to be a tight race for promotion of the year between WWE, CMLL, AAA, and he didn't mention AAA. He mentioned like WWE, CMLL, and AEW, right? So I put up a poll. Who is leading for promotion of the year? Okay, AEW, WWE, CMLL, or AAA? Give me in your opinion, what do you think the answers are in order, Konnan?
I'd say 1 WWE, 2 AEW, 3 CMLL, 4 AAA.
Okay, you're wrong.
Right.
WWE 74.8%. Okay. Number 2, AEW. What percentage do you think AEW? Now WWE's 3/4 of the people think WWE is fleeting. What percentage do you think AEW?
20%.
No. 11.8.
Right.
AAA 10.5.
Right.
Not far behind AEW. CMLL 2.8. So people think that there's a considerable amount of people that of the 25% of the people, Konnan, that think that that think that WWE is not leading for promotion of the year, 40% of them have chosen AAA, and about 45% have chosen AEW. It's interesting. So,
You know what I think happened?
what?
So many people were talking about us, and we know who they are. From all the AEW marks to, Dave and, all the bloggers that don't like me, that I think when people saw the product, they were like, it's not that bad.
Right.
You know what I'm
They've
saying?
had 2 shows now. People are like,
Yeah.
and they both have gotten positive responses.
Right.
It's like people go like,
But every time I defended it,
Right.
yeah, because I go, bro, it's not as bad as they're making out to seem. They're making it out to be. And number 2, our business is very strong right now.
Right.
This is before WWE even bought us,
Right.
And they've made the show better.
Yeah. So Hangman Page came in the ring and reminded the crowd he was jumped in the parking lot by MJF last week and said, that's who MJF is. He didn't have the courage to tackle problems head on, so it would be pointless to call him out to the ring to beat him a few days early. He told MJF he would only get 1 shot at the title. He promised that he would shove his ostrich leather boots up his checker printed. MJF's music hit, and he failed to appear. Then Tony Schiavone got on the microphone and said MJF has a message for him. And if he leaves the ring before he finishes, something terrible is going to happen. Then MJF appeared on the Tron with Mark Briscoe tied to a chair. MJF said Page is at his weakest when he's angry, then introduced him to his vulnerability. He said he has 3 demands, and he poured gasoline over Mark Briscoe's head and said if he didn't grant them, his friend would be Kentucky Fried. His stipulations are that the title could change hands on a DQ, the title could change hands on a countout, and that he doesn't have to use his contract. He gave Hangman until the count of 5 to answer him. Otherwise, they'd find out if people like it when he lights things on fire as much as when Hangman does. Then he's got the lighter, and Hangman eventually caved in, thinking MJF was going to burn Mark Briscoe alive. And MJF congratulated him, and then he tore off to the back with a chair to find MJF. MJF emerged backstage and hit Ricochet in the back with a chair. Then security intervened, and Hangman punched one of them in the face after he told him that MJF had already left. Then the Gates of Agony walked in from elsewhere and checked on Ricochet. What did you think of this segment as a sell for the MJF Hangman Page match? Are you more
I'm in the
interested?
Gates of Agony listening to the description of it.
What did you think, Konnan, of this angle?
Too convoluted and too complicated. So now he can win on a DQ or a count out, and he still has a contract if he wants a title match for another time. So that means that if he loses this one, he still has another shot. And I know it's wrestling and everything goes, but So you can just get on TV and threaten to burn somebody and get a match. I mean, what's next? Are you going to come out with a gun and put it to his head? And if he doesn't sign the contract,
let me tell you the funniest thing about this. The WWE did Bray Wyatt and stuff, and the people absolutely.
Oh yeah, they hate
so like,
it.
why would you go back to this? So, like, that was like it was horrible. Like, so let me read you Lance Storm's take on this, Konnan. Lance Storm calls it. Actually, you know what? Maybe we should play this. Oh, okay. So they don't have the recording. Here we go. Lance Storm calls it MJF, Mark Briscoe, and Hangman Adam Page segment on AEW Dynamite, quote, fake and stupid. My issue is that it comes off so incredibly fake. The storyline this is airing live on TV while this guy threatens attempted murder. The competitor at Wimbledon grabbed another competitor, doused him in gasoline, and told the opponent in the finals that they had to play with their non-dominant hand or I'm burning this guy alive. The network would cut the cameras, they would evacuate the stadium, and they would call in SWAT and police. Wimbledon wouldn't then sanction the match where the other guy has to then play in the finals against a guy who threatened to kill a person with his non-dominant hand. And by saying, well, he agreed to it, what can we do? It's just so fake and stupid. You can't buy in anymore. It's supposed to be a live sporting event. Oh, well, we'll just air this potential murder. Briscoe might get set on fire. And since Page agreed with it, well, those are the stips. And the stips don't make the match better. It creates an opening for a bunch of BS finishes. Do you agree with this?
It's kind of like what I said, right?
Exactly. You know what's funny about some of this content on these shows? Dude, if this, now, the AEW fans will just love everything AEW does, right? But if this was Vince Russo writing this instead of Tony Khan, what would the internet be saying about this?
Garbage.
I mean, they would just be absolutely blistering at this, they'd torture it. But it's like, it's weird, but it's AEW's Tony Khan. It's like, whatever. So I don't.
You want to hear Dave's take on it?
Dave? You got Dave? Let's hear it. Show men in the ones and twos.
Just, use him as, basically a guy for him to get over on, which is fine, if it's once or twice, because MJF he's headlining a pay-per-view, going for the world title. He should go over him, okay? But, not constantly every single week. This guy does a promo, I'm going to kill you. You know what I mean? I'm coming here to kill you for my family and all this, and everyone gets behind him. And then he always fails. It's just like, I suppose someday maybe he'll get a win.
Dude, the only way that this can be redeemed is if they do the match at the pay-per-view and something happens where MJF loses, but he can't cash in on that day. And on Dynamite, they do an angle where Tony Khan rules that, yes, you got your contract back, but you also put someone's life in danger. And so therefore you need to defend the contract against Mark Briscoe. And Mark Briscoe wins the contract, and you do Mark Briscoe and the Hangman.
Yeah, you can do Mark Briscoe and Hangman on a TV show, which is, a good TV match. And Mark Briscoe can lose that one. That's fine.
Yes.
Going for the world title. That would, because the other thing, Hangman will give him a great match. And, look, Mark gives everyone a great match anyway.
About good on that?
Yeah. The same, bro, you gotta build anticipation for the match. This had more people like the Lance Storm take. Like, that's absurd. I don't know. This is go home with the pay-per-view, whatever. And this was the main event on the show. Listen to this main event. Athena and Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm and Alex Windsor. Okay? And this was Athena and Mercedes won. And after the match, Mercedes jawed with, bro, this is a girl home for the pay-per-view? Some
Next
girl
week.
named Persephone, the CMLL girl that looked like just a fan at ringside. She's not very imposing or anything. And Mercedes Moné were jawing, and Mercedes and the girl pushed her. What did you, Konnan, are you excited for this now? The Mercedes, the Persephone?
Yeah, I'm not excited in that whatsoever. I would like to see Athena versus Toni Storm. I think that would be a good match. Is that in their next pay-per-view?
Yeah, let me give you the Barnett
I'm at the
guy.
card right now.
The Barnett guy. So they did a pile driver on the steps, and that looked devastating. I'm curious how much it figures into the storyline of the match on Sunday. They've done enough to establish Athena as a threat. I hope the match lives up to some lofty expectations. Beyond Alex Windsor, None of the challengers for the TBS title have been highlighted enough on TV to really feel like meaningful additions to the match. Mercedes is also not capitalizing the opportunity to show some character development coming off her first loss at All In. And the TBS title division needs some work. Altogether, the show had better energy to the crowd, but I'm not really vibing with the storytelling and booking decisions in certain places on the Forbidden Door card. Would you agree with that take, pretty much? I'm not excited for really anything on this show. My excitement is less than it was. Because, like, it's weird, you know. I don't know. It's just
It's just weird because she comes out with Shirakawa, who gives her a kiss. Were they girlfriends? Are they girlfriends? Or I'm not sure what's going on there. You have a lot of green girls that should be in Ring of Honor, like Julia and the Sky Blue and Amanada. What happened to Thunder Rosa? What happened to is Harley Cameron still hurt?
I don't know. Okay, so let's go over this card.
Why don't they use Taya? Why don't they use Diana?
Well, let me make a point here. I don't know. But here's the thing. So this is a card for Forbidden Door.
All right.
The Golden Lovers, Darby Allin, Tanahashi, Will Osprey versus Death Riders, Bucks, and Gabe Kidd. Okay? And on this show,
that would be a good match. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
On this show, there was no Ibushi and no Omega, okay?
Yeah.
The Hurt
Does that match interest you?
No.
No.
Does that match interest you, Joe?
No.
The Hurt Syndicate versus Brodito versus FTR, okay?
A little bit.
Yeah, I am too a little bit. Okada versus Swerve weren't on the show. Nothing here to go. The last week was kind of flat.
Does that interest you?
No.
A little bit. Yeah, I would watch
really
that.
Make it interesting. Tony Storm versus Athena? Not really. I mean, Athena's not going to beat her. Mercedes versus Windsor versus Persephone versus who is this?
Bozilla.
Bozilla? Who is Bozilla? A German professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Who's that, Joe?
I've never heard of her.
I thought we might have had. It would have been pretty cool to have introduced people to Bozilla.
Is there a picture of this person?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Okay.
She's German and she's wrestling in Stardom.
Hang on. Don't do it yet. Go through the rest of the card.
Sorry. Yep. I got it.
And then pull up Bozilla. All right. So Bozilla was not on the show. I still don't have any clue who this person is.
Well,
I didn't know who Persephone was until they thought that it'd be a good way to sell it at ringside. Joe, pull it up.
So who does Bozilla wrestle?
She's in that 4-way with Mercedes, Windsor, and Persephone. Fletcher versus...
Oh, and real quick, Harley Cameron returned on Collision, Konnan. She's back.
So Kyle Fletcher against Takahashi, and all he did was just cut a promo on him last week.
I don't care about that much.
Zack Sabre Jr. against Nigel McGuinness with Daniel Garcia. They haven't promoted this, nothing on this show, but maybe it's on Collision. I don't know. Page versus Maxwell versus Max. Yeah, I guess I'm interested. And Copeland and Christian versus Kip Sabian and Killswitch? Oh, because the kid broke his leg.
That's the main event?
Yeah, because the Wayne kid broke his foot.
Nah, the main event's probably Page and Freeman. It's just the way they have this listed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But, bro, like, there's just a lot of stuff they didn't promote on the show because they went 30 minutes with Lashley to build for 3. Bro, it was this simple. Have the Hurt Business come out there, like, you know, they come out during the match. They do a spot where one of the guys bumps into them, and they just start beating out of the guys. They get DQ'd, and they come out and say,
and
hey,
you know what's the bad thing about this? That there's a good chat. Well, who is this?
That's Bozilla.
Here would have been a logical way to book that. Have the Hurt Business say we hurt people, and have them just come out of the middle of that match and just start beating people up and hurting them.
Woof.
And to the point they said, like, well, you're going to have to face all these guys now. And they go, oh, what do we do? You know, I don't know. So that's Bozilla.
That's a big girl, D.I.
Why have they not promoted this girl? Why would you not put that girl on TV before this? I mean, look how big she is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
You jacked.
Yeah, I would have invited you. I would have given you a press pass and then have her clothesline you while you're asking a question about Raven.
The only thing I liked on this show was the Christian Copeland, to be honest with you. Did you like anything on this show?
That was the best thing.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
So my top 5 of the week, okay? Number 5, I like the little LA Knight Punk interaction backstage.
Right.
Boy, there's a very weak top 5 this week too, by the way. Number 4, I like the Bailey vignette. Number 3, I loved Naomi's promo. Number 2, the Christian Copeland promo. And number 1, I like the Drew promo. Even though it was a B+, it wasn't even A. It's still the best. It was one of their top guys. It did another good promo on the show. So.
Well, Bozilla has yeah, you're right. She has not been on AEW programming at all. And it almost looks to me like the only match she's had in the States here may be with GCW.
Why would they not put that girl on TV?
Don't you think it would have been a good idea, Joe? Number 1, and this you don't write the show, so this is a rhetorical question. Number 1, do a video package on her, or number 2, have her do some sort of interference in a match.
Video package
come
for
out
sure.
and kill people.
Yeah, the one thing I'm thinking is
just huge. Come out and choke slam all 3 of those.
Bro, can you imagine a confrontation between her and the other girl, whatever her name is, the one that came from GCW, Megan Bain?
Oh yeah. Dude, yeah, they had a match on Janela's spring break last year.
It was literally this simple. You should have the Bozilla girl come out during that tag match and lay out every single person in that match for chokes. And people going like, wow, at least it's intrigue now. You know what I'm saying? But like,
she's got the size for it.
Of course. When people actually see, some people might see her coming out for the first time and go, who is this?
Right. I would have her come out and beat up Riho. Is that her name?
Yeah, Riho.
Yeah. Soho.
Right?
It was
who's Sky Blue and the other girl, Julia Hart, the evil faction.
Yeah,
right?
beat them up. Okay, and the one that's with them now, Exla, or what's her? She's a spider or something.
Yeah,
what's her name? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't know. I would have maybe like have
Thekla,
right?
And for good measure, clothesline Ishii.
Power pump.
Okay, let me tell you my top 5.
For your top 5.
Number 5, Triple Mania highlights on Raw. It's very surreal for me to see that. Okay?
All right. That was not in my top. That was not in my honorable mentions.
And more people, are finding out who we are and what we're about.
Right.
The Bailey promo.
Mm-hmm.
Cage and Edge promo.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Heyman promo, number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, the Naomi promo.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1, the Drew McIntyre promo.
Interesting.
We're almost alike.
Yeah. I just didn't. You like the AAA highlights, so was that honorable mention? Yeah, that's good for you guys. So well, just the fact that people like the Dominic's so popular that he could actually draw the fans, the WWE fans, to watching the AAA content. So
right.
I think I saw you post something, Disco, about Jericho, where it said he hasn't even been discussed for WWE yet, right?
Okay, so somebody posted.
Because I have a follow-up.
Here's the thing, dude. This is the report, Konnan. Chris Jericho's name has reportedly, this is reporting, not come up within WWE creative circles. And I posted probably hundreds, if not thousands, of other wrestlers' names have not come up in creative because they don't work there also.
Right.
When is his contract up, Joe?
The end of the year.
They are not talking about Chris Jericho right now.
Well, here's Sports Illustrated for you.
Okay.
There is significant interest in Chris Jericho returning when his AEW contract comes up, with several in WWE, including active wrestlers, wanting him to return. A source expects the WWE deal to be completed for him when his AEW contract finishes. Dude's coming out as a surprise at the Rumble. Mark it down.
Are you going to be happy if he comes out?
Yeah, of course.
Interesting. So that's been our TV reviews for the week.
Enjoy the rest of the show. Boom.
Right.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.